He lost the election, so he decided to visit his cousin in Leavenworth. He walked across the frozen river near St. Joe, caught a buggy ride south, and stopped for the night in Troy, where he bought some winter boots and made a speech to about a dozen people. The next day he made it to Atchison, checked into the Massasoit Hotel, and went downstairs to the Overland Stage and Express riders to find a leathersmith to stretch his new boots.
Thank you.
He spent the afternoon playing pool and swapping stories.
You know, I recall a story of a colleague of mine that defended a man for stealing a horse. The lawyer convinced the judge that this man was completely innocent. There was no evidence that this man had ever even seen the horse in question. The judge agreed and told the man that he was free to go. The man looked at the judge with puzzlement as he got up to leave and said, "Judge, does this mean I can keep the horse?"
That night, a large crowd heard the visitor speak at the Methodist church. The next morning, he left for his cousin's place.
Let me get that for you. We'll have you at your cousin's in Leavenworth by noon.
Thank you, Mr. Ingalls. Hello, what is your name?
My name is Margaret Ingalls. What's your name?
My name is Abraham Lincoln. It's nice to meet you, Margaret.
The editor of the Atchison newspaper opposed Lincoln's views and gave the speech little coverage. Several weeks later, Lincoln spoke in New York. This time his speech was published in newspapers all over the country. Atchison folks who read the speech in the newspapers recognized it was the same speech he made first in the House divided of Kansas.
A house divided against itself cannot stand. Let us have faith that right makes might, and in that faith let us, to the end, do our duty as we understand it.
Lincoln, of course, became 16th President of the United States. John Ingalls was elected to the Senate 3 times and became President pro tem, which was third in line for the presidency.
To commemorate an address given near this corner by Abraham Lincoln on the issues of the day, the night of December 2nd, 1859.
The house where Lincoln slept in Troy is still there.
Girls, it's a nice day. Let's go outside and play.
Oh, and little Margaret Ingalls' cousin came to visit when Uncle Charles and his family passed through on their way to Homestead in Kansas. Cousin Laura Ingalls Wilder grew up and wrote stories about the little house on the prairie.